Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to Battletech Advanced 3062 and our Irby Derby campaign. Today we're dropping in something a little bit special. In fact, it's a tag team mission in an urban biome, one that I tend to avoid because, as you'll all see, it does get a little bit laggy, sometimes just too many assets on the field for things to run smoothly. But what we have to do is we have to destroy enemy Circinan forces located here, while ensuring that our allied House Merrick lands, featuring an awesome, a guillotine, a yeoman, which looks a bit like Mad Cat actually from that angle, interesting, and a Sirocco, which is in fact a quad mech, double ultra AC-10. Wow, that's a lot of firepower and armor. Stay alive. So the first thing that we're going to do is we need to, well, move over here quickly enough to distract. And in order to do that, that's right, we are going to apparently do nothing and have them come to us. So there's a 35-ton vehicle that is headed our direction. Looks like a prime candidate for a sensor lock, and we are just fighting the Circinan Confederation, which are basically one step removed from periphery-level pirates. Oh, they do have a support lance as well. So I took this for the 2.5 million sea bills that were on offer. So not a lot of salvage that we're expecting here, actually not any salvage. We're expecting here, and what we're doing instead is, like I tend to enjoy doing on urban biomes, we are hoping for lots of bonus objectives like the Circinan support lance and avoiding collateral damage, and we're hoping for just a truly wonderful payout at the end of this. So we're hoping to make 2.5 million sea bills become, I don't know, 3.5, 4 million sea bills by stacking those bonuses. Now there is a third, oh jeez, there's another lance coming in. Looks like it belongs to the Yarn folk, so they'll be hostile to everyone. So just to recap, we have our own 8 mechs, so 2 lances of our own mechs. We have 1 allied lance of House Merrick. We have 2 enemy lances from the Circinan Federation, and we have 1 other mech, just making this a complete free-for-all almost, working for the Yarn folk, which are also a pseudo-periphery type organization. So what we're doing right now is just sort of moving over, getting into position, and I think we're going to see if we have a shot available to us with the Irby land. So we're going to make up for, hopefully, in height difference, what we lack in ability to get through evasion, and wow, okay, that's a Goliath. It's a horrible Goliath. That's abysmal. Vehicle. Where's your best shot? Okay, we really don't have a best shot at the moment. Too much evasion. We can at least land the streaks in on the Goliath. Start to rip through whatever the heck that thing is over there. And this has the potential to be a relatively long mission, so I'm going to do my best to get through it as quickly as we can. And we actually will need to come out and around in order to avoid the edge of the map. So as much as I would like to take our lance around that way, it doesn't look like that's really an option at the moment. And let's see. Okay, so we can get the LBX AC-10 on the way. Let's just do slug round. Ah, going wide. Oh, that happens. Nothing we can do about it. This will be potentially a little bit crunchy with mech loading times, but hopefully we'll see some people just fighting each other like crazy. We have apparently intercepted the Yarn folk lance, so I'm a little bit worried for our ability to get our allies off the board. This will be a bit of a challenge. Right now they'll be outnumbered basically 2 to 1. It could be a really big issue for us, so let's just keep moving up. Let's get the Thunderbolt on the way. Pretty heavily armed, but not great. Fire mode's not really acceptable for this on the ER larges anyway, or the LRM-20. Let's fire one on the linked core. Okay, I mean, that's pathetic. Damage fall off on the linked core, I forgot about that. Should have fired the split. Oh well. Single file, mateys. A little bit unfortunate, but we really don't have that many options available to us as of yet. My hope is we can just run right through this Yarn folk lance on the next turn and start to make ourselves useful supporting our allies. We are drawing some fire. That looks like a PPC headed in at the Ostrock 2D. And that, I'm happy with that. So Ordinarily, I of course wouldn't be happy for us to be the ones getting shot, but since we are trying to keep our allies alive, that means that at least one of the Circinan lances is probably on the other side of us, which means... Oh, did I run him over the wrong way? I did. I'm an idiot. Didn't realize that I couldn't go through the edge of the map. What that probably means is that our allies are not so as outnumbered as they could be, while we are in fact getting just pincered. But that's okay. That's what we're here for. We are here on this drop to make sure our allies don't die. And that meshes oh so well with my usual let the allies die so long as I don't get hurt sort of mindset. I'm a mercenary after all. There's very little to be said for that. Ham on build. At least while playing this game, anyway. I've listened to a couple of the recordings I've done for the Kingdoms Reborn series, and it seems like I'm much more mellowed out there, where there aren't really sort of direct consequences. Now, that number of AC2s is a little bit worrisome. I'm not necessarily concerned that they'll put them all on target. It's just, it's like an LRM aimed at the building. You're gonna have to move down, or they might well shoot the building out from under us. And even though we have that, well, that glide pack, I guess, on our Urbulam, he will still fall, he will still get hurt, at least as far as I'm aware. I've never tested it, because that seems kind of like what I don't really want. It looks like our allies are actually completely out of position. Yeah, our allies just completely out of position, not helping us at all, not even firing a single volley, which means that we're getting the full brunt of enemy attention for right now. 2 enemy vehicles moving at 10. It's actually a blessing in disguise, because those are the ones with so much evasion we couldn't land a shot on them. And if they are moving, well, maybe that evasion will get a little bit lower if they think they can do a short move and get guns on target. Oh, this is why I don't like really light enemy vehicles. I'm just going to be sitting here watching that wheel turn for just a moment. Really no strategizing we can do about it. If you try and move the screen around and do all this other stuff, it just ends up chunking a little bit of that frame rate, which is already pretty low, down even further. So for the meantime, you guys get to watch nothing and listen to my sweet voice here. Okay, so it looks like a medium laser has landed, and they are trying to just physically block me in. Oh, that's kind of obnoxious. Alright, we'll reserve down. Come on. Oh, I want you to move the other guy. Oh, jeez. This is more annoying than anything else. Yeoman, allied yeoman, not doing a thing. Centurion is an option. Can I get... Yes. Hello? Please get kicked. Even if we miss here, there shouldn't be too much that goes into the surrounding buildings. Almost, but not quite enough to take down that scout Pegasus. Well, it happens. I mean, the kick did pretty good damage. That'd be the guillotine. Moving up, doing nothing. Well, if we have to chew through them ourselves, that's why we are fielding 8 mechs, to make that as painless for us, procedure, as possible. So, yeah, that's what I said. Does not like it when you move the screen around while they're trying to do their movement calculations. One time I had to cut a mission in 2. It took 2 hours to do the one that was, I think it was 7 versus 26. Just because, I mean, 36 enemy mechs all doing this sort of, let me figure out where to go, and I'll just take my sweet time about it. I'll let you know when I'm done, you know, yeah, as happens. If you're looking for more excitement, I would advise probably skipping about 15 minutes or so, just because until these light vehicles are dead, which I hope to be this turn, and until we've sort of whittled them down a little bit, there's just a lot of AI thinking going on. Okay. Very well. He just sat there, all that thinking, and he did not move or shoot, because why would he move or shoot? That's incredibly frustrating. Okay, do I have somebody moving on 6? I do. The Centurion can move on 6, and we can go around. And we can shoot at that stationary vehicle. is really not the time where I wanted to waste time on the zoom in. A little bit long range. Ah, jeez. Missing the AC-10 again. That does hurt just a little bit. Here's another Yarn Folk. That should be the third vehicle, the Scimitar moving. Come on, Scimitar. You can do it. I believe in you. Well, not really, but pretend I do. Or don't pretend I do. I'm not bothered one way or another. Come on. Oh, man. Raindrops keep falling on my head. And most of them have the shape of a spinning wheel. Let's see. Okay, general thoughts here. We almost have that one vehicle dead. These vehicles are just top priority on the chopping blocks. I don't feel like sitting here waiting for Bard to move around and around and around another time through, just to end with no actual motion from either of those mechs. That should just be, they should just shortcut to that if they're gonna just not move. It would make my life a lot more pleasant. This should be the Goliath moving up, if it's the Yarn Folk, otherwise I'm not entirely sure which one it is. And, okay, so we do actually have some enemy mechs moving toward our allied lance, which will hopefully speed things up just a little bit. They can fight each other. Come on. You can do it. You have a motor. There we go. Oh, wow. Alright. So, landed a PPC shot on the Dervish, not an issue this turn because we've already fired. Will be next turn, because those affect accuracy pretty horrendously. Not exactly what we want. And they're just blocking my way through. Hey, this is annoying. I can't go through here. Oh my goodness gracious. Alright, well you know what? Hey Pegasus, you are going to die, and I don't care if I kill a building to do it. Oh no, I'm not good at it. That's okay. There it is. Vehicle destroyed. Can I move past him now? Maybe not because of the Thunderbolt. But maybe so. Yes, we can, so we can move through our own nuts. Very nice. I've never been happier for that being true. That one vehicle was just blocking us completely. How rude. Okay, our best shot's on the Goliath, but the Goliath isn't taking up our turn timers, so we're going to shoot the faster. I accidentally left the coil off, but it was still enough to get through, and actually saved us a little bit of heat. Would have tried to fire as much as I could anyway. One vehicle left there. So there are 12 enemy mechs at the start. We've killed 3 of them, leaving 9. Well, no, we've killed 2, leaving 10. Oh, I'm good at this. I'm just anticipating the kill on that third vehicle this turn. So if we can get through that vehicle, the Goliath won't pose much of a threat, which means that we'll be in a pretty decent spot to collapse on the Circinian forces and make short work of this mission, at least in terms of number of turns, not overall actual time. That torso twist, that is a very tempting shot, but pretty heavy armor on the Goliath. Seems to be taking 7 days. So we do open up and land both of those Straitcaster M4s on the Scimitar. Let's see if we can follow it up. The Wolverine? Or would it be better to wait for the Orion? Now that accuracy, probably better to wait for the Orion. Let's reserve down. And of course our Marauder's completely out of place because I thought I could go through that section to the right. But that'll be easily enough fixed, actually right now, so let's come forward. Yeah, in a turn we'll have him online against the Sir Simmons to our west. And let's go ahead and sensor lock the Goliath. No reason not to. Okay. Let's get him moving up. Yeah, we should be able to go in front of him with the next one, so that's fine. Rotary AC-5 is a little bit light on accuracy at the moment. Master M6 is at extreme range, so no joy there. Let's go ahead and fire 4 anyway. If we can land 2 of them, we might be able to kill this guy. Actually, you know what? The heck with killing buildings. 3, 4, 5, 6. Dead vehicle. That's what we like to see. Okay, well that'll speed things up quite a bit in terms of the AI turn timer. Let's come up here with Wolverine. Excellent shot now on the Goliath, so let's open up with everything we've got. Very nice. That thing's a 95-ton mech. It's a bad build, so it doesn't even have good armor on there. Really, I mean, all things considered, right? Oh, okay, 80-ton, not 95. Don't know why I had that in my head, but really just could be a little bit more functional. The double LRM-10 is not doing it any favors, and the AI has brought down a building. Were those piercing shots? Might have been piercing AC2s. It looks like it took some internal damage. Could be. No. That red was just from the building behind us, I believe. Okay. So there's the two AC2 partisan vehicles. I mean, the orange is right over our mechs, but yeah, it's just because the numbers are floating. And Allied Phase 2. If they could deal with one lance by the time we deal with two and get over there, I'd be a happy man. But I'm not sure I'd bet much on that possibility. Long range supporting fire, probably from the Yeoman. Okay, hey, you know, I take it back. That was effective fire. Showing off the usefulness of Thunderbolt missiles, I believe, unless those are ATMs. But I think they look like Thunderbolts. ATMs are a little bit smaller of an explosion. Okay, so accidental fire going in on Ostrock and shooting at the Orion. Missing mostly on the Orion, but most of that armament really did go in. So that's the enemy Crusader. Back here, rocket launchers, reloading rocket launchers, and they have 120 of them. So they have a whole other volley like that, ready and able to shoot us with it. Let's go around here and make this guy regret his life decisions with the Irby Lamp. So, opening up, let's see what we got to deal with. Yeah, we're not going to be able to kill him, but we might be able to take some of those if we're lucky. No. Doesn't even look like we got through structure exposed, and yeah, I mean, the Crusader is a capable mech. Fair amount of armor, but we split our damage 3 ways. If we had even done a 2-way split instead of 3, we would have had some of those guns offline. The silver lining is that our Herbulan will be able to move again before the Crusader, and if we just sit right there and shoot, it'll either be really good or completely suicidal as the Crusader turns around and blasts us a new one. 120 rocket launcher rounds. So let's give as much attention as we can to the Goliath. I want it out of the way. And let's give that a shot. Try. Yes. Yeah, not bad. And we're making our way through it. Scattering quite a bit, unfortunately. Let's see if we can do something about that. Binary lasers? Nope, no good path. Let's move up the Dervish. And yeah, I mean, this will scatter as well, but sheer weight of fire will achieve something here. And this Dervish, I really never used him before, but this design is growing on me quite a bit. I do miss the building behind us, not enough to destroy the building. Happily, more than enough to destroy the Goliath. He seems to have lost his back legs there. It's a little unfortunate. Not my intention, I promise. Okay. Alright, so what do we have over here? We have an Ostsol with 1 PPC, we have that Partisan tank, the AC2. Let's see if we can get down toward him. Yeah, and we're going to fire the AC-10 at cluster to make up for that 70% accuracy. I'm tired of missing any and all damage with this. 80% with the fragmentation on the cluster rounds. It's pretty nice. Decent damage right there, can't complain. I mean, it could, but I shouldn't, so I'm not gonna. Oof. A little bit topsy-turvy there. You know what? We're going to wait. Okay, so enemy mechs on the field still. I see a Crusader, I see 2 enemy mechs farther over. These might have just been lances of 3. Nope, okay, there's the 4th. Can't see him, don't have eyes on him, he's just on, vaguely on sensors. Yeoman's taking a little bit of fire. Merlin, but that should be alright. Not really too deadly. Can I get good fire? Yes. So we're going to bring the Thunderbolt around this way. I want to see if I can take out that AC2 tank. Of course, okay, there's our 4th. that side, because our allies have already taken one out. We're going to use Precision Strike here. I want the split fire on the improved binary laser, and let's see if we can take this guy out of the field. Do miss both. No, just one. Ah, yes. There it is. Okay. So that second AC-2 carrier is down. I know it's not technically an AC-2 carrier, but light armor and a lot of the same type of weapon are carrier. At least in my eyes. Speaking of, that looks like an LRM carrier or an MRM carrier. I've been seeing the MRM carriers more often, but I don't know, because it's kind of hard to tell their missiles apart when they're shooting like that. We could get over near this Crusader. That would lead to some excellent flanking over here as well, so I think that is the choice. I would like to sink my instability, but instead we're just going to pop shielded stance. That'll at least protect us a little bit. This is horrible, horrible accuracy, so I'm not going to take the shot because we can very well just destroy a building instead and negatively impact our impending paychecks. Okay, so that's cut down a lot on the enemy time. I know we're sitting there right now, but that's just for the Ostsol, and he's much quicker than the partisans were, than the other tanks were as well. So that's an improvement at least, and I'll take it. Alright, we get it. Marauder moving up to support the Thunderbolts, and we will just do a sensor lock here. And the enemy Ostsol is not going to be very happy next turn with the amount of firepower that we can bring to bear. So let's hope now that our allies can do a little bit of something, but I don't think they have very many direct fire targets. Yeoman taking another PPC shell, and that is something we should be vaguely worried about, I think. Let's come over... Well, I got a lot of guns on that direction. I'm not sure it's most useful. This guy isn't the quickest, so yeah, I'm a little bit uncertain here. You know what? Let's come around this way. We can use Vigilance to inspire the rest of our men, and turn off the rotary. AC-5, fire in just the right. Yeah, and we're just getting things started there. So it's a little bit of damage. Starting to break through that frontal armor. And, oh, enemy Cataphract takes 1, 2, 3 PPC rounds from Awesome, which is just, well, amazing to see, I guess. Awesome to see, but that's a little cliche. Structure exposed on the Cataphract. Hey, our allies are doing okay. And Sirocco, there goes our payday. The Sirocco blew himself up because he is an idiot who went over the red line with ammunition bins and no case for protection. So, I'd like to point out that the enemy did nothing there. This is why I took the ammunition bins off of our own Ostrock, because if we're pushing the red line with the coil, we were eventually going to do that to ourselves. Didn't want that. Not sure what that was. Looks like it maybe didn't quite look like a mortar. But, oh, mech grenade launcher. Yeah, fair enough. It's kind of fun, really. I like the idea of it. I've never used it on one of mine, but that's just me. So we're gonna go up here, skip that. Yeah, okay, this is a carrier, heavy MRM carrier. Fair amount of armor on that? No, not really. So we're gonna switch back to slug. I want to bust right through armor in one location. See what we can do. 60, let's power on. Yes, okay, that vehicle's offline. Very nice. So there's only 3 enemies remaining, and we have 8 of our own, and I would say 4, but because of his own actions, 3 allied mechs to work with. Precision strike on the Ostsol. Let's slow him down, moving on initiative 4, which will allow me to get a little bit more firepower on him before he has a chance to move. Namely, to let us use our Thunderbolt. We can get our Ostrock around the corner, but it's going to be a long shot, literally, for any sort of damage here. That looks like it needs a precision strike to be useful. Bit of a risk, not much reward there either. Let's just do Vigilance to drop the instability and move a little bit faster on the next turn. And we'll have to come up there and be useful on the next turn. Dervish can do the same thing. If they survive long enough for the Dervish to be useful, I would be surprised, but he might get one volley off. Going to reserve down, initiate to 5, this will let their Merlin move. And then they do still have one mystery mech I haven't seen, so there's the Cataphract, there's the... looks like our allies killed one. Yeah. World twisted around. Okay. There we go. The cityscape isn't as easy to stay coordinated in as some other things. And the building goes down, courtesy of enemy fire. Happens all too often. Thunderbolt is just going to stand here and shoot. Split cores, LRM 20 online, and all the ER mediums. Nice, very nice. PPC destroyed, so we're taking some of his guns offline. But that Ostall is still up and kicking, unfortunately. We might be able to do some work with the Orion. Hopefully. I didn't think he'd last another round, but heavy armor on that guy. Yeah, we'll eventually get to the point where we're taking down medium mechs in one alpha strike, but we're not there yet. Let's move forward a little bit, get the medium pulses to have a bit better accuracy, or even just be online. Medium pulses are wonderful for avoiding evasion pips, but when your enemy has no evasion pips, maybe a little bit less so. We're going to turn this to 4 so we have less of a chance of killing buildings behind and open up. 1, 2, 3, 4. One shell does hit a building behind there. It shouldn't be an issue for us, but still could be. And we have the Wolverine move up here. This guy runs a little bit hotter than I would like. We turn off ER medium just under the red line. Should be okay, there's no enemy flamers on the board. I really want the LRM 20. Yeah, gyro crit, no engine kill. Well, sometimes a little unlucky, but that's alright. This guy will not last all that much longer. In fact, he doesn't even have any guns. That does mean you have to watch out for things like DFA, death from above attacks, or just melee, but I think we'll be alright. I've lost more mech parts to death from above than enemy fire, with one exception. Well, and by that I mean one mission as an exception, namely the 7 versus 36. At least while I'm doing campaigns for you guys. There's the DFAs. They count following fire as well, because it'll kill your stability, which kills your evasion, which means that everyone else shoots at you without any penalties. It can make a bad situation go from bad to horrible. Oh, there's another enemy dropship, and it's right on top of my Centurion, so we do need more firepower around here. It was unexpected. We'll have to bring a couple mechs back around. In the meantime, though, let's see if we can do a little bit to help out with the enemy Warhammer 6D. Low odds of firing the streaks here. Actually, we do. I'm continually impressed by that. Fair enough. I've had more luck getting the streak SRM4s online than the 6s. Probably just because of less failure chances, but, you know, do what we can. That's horrible accuracy, not worth the shot. We do need to kill this guy on 6, though, or he'll have a chance to move on 5, which is not something that I want to allow him. And we'll need to move the others to avoid getting hammered by whatever mechs are dropped from that last reinforcement. Enemy Cataphract is taking a beating. He and the Warhammer shouldn't be able to kill the rest of our allied lance, and since one's already gone, well, there's no chance of us getting full extra payday anyway, so there's no point in us making sure they survive well. At least not from anything other than altruism, which I'm feeling a little light on at the moment for these guys, considering they blew themselves up and cost me 600,000 civils. Sensor lock on the Ostall may seem a little bit superfluous, but shooting in those binary lasers and missing is an excellent way to lose money. And what we can do now is we'll move up the Wolverine ever so slightly. I think we'll go right here. And now we should be fine to get the kill with everything but one of the ER larges up here. I mean, okay, so bad firing angle. I didn't realize he was looking the other way, which means we shot at his side instead of his front. That could be an issue. Tell you what, let's go up here, turn around, and take a long shot back with Slug. Pilot eject. That's what I like to see. I was hoping we'd panic him with that, but yeah, it's nice to see that it actually went through and happened. Ostrock, moving up, or would it be better? It'd be better to bring the Dervish around. Yeah, because otherwise we'd be firing through Ostrock's position. Following the tag online, we do land it, which will help the ER mediums on the Ostrock. We won't be within range of the coil. With +1 there, I mean, it's something. But we're still shooting with pretty bad accuracy here. At least it's in the 50s. Coin flip territory. We land 2 out of 4. Well, that's what we should do. And even more damage on the back of that Warhammer is a good thing. So we've got 3 on the field still and 1 reinforcing lance coming in, so this will be a bit of a longer mission, especially compared to what I've been doing recently, shooting for like 25-30 minutes. Tops, probably looking at 45 here. Depends on how long it takes for me to get that last reinforcing lance off the field. Okay, so now this is going to be the enemy Merlin. It's a decent build on that guy, I guess. I mean, mixed range builds are not my favorite thing, but they do ensure that you always have something worthwhile to fire. We're going to move in here, 2 evasion pips, and standing on the destroyed building will give us damage reduction. Just brace, I want the precision strike for next turn. I mean, our allies should be winning this, but without our help it would be relatively even, I guess. Merlin, one of them is damaged, one of them is not. Guillotine's taking some damage, Yeoman's taking some damage. It's kind of more of a mixed bag than I would have expected. What we can do, let's get an evasion pip here. Okay, we probably won't have great accuracy on this, but maybe, just maybe, that might be worthwhile if we can clear the side torso. It did help us out, so I feel like we should return the favor. And yeah, actually that was a really nice shot. So we took one of those mechs offline by taking out side torso, causing ammunition explosion, which traveled through to the engine. Now the allied awesome, pounding into their Warhammer, 2 out of 3 PPCs, finding their mark, and here come the enemy reinforcements. Huh. Okay, Jägermech, Blackjack, Jägermech, Ostal. I should have taken this for salvage. I wanted the payday, but I do love the Jägermech chassis, and at least one of these is non-periphery. The other one is periphery, so it's basically useless, at least without a significant rebuild, which would cost lots of money. Let's hop over here. This guy thought he was getting a good angle to protect his rear firing arc, but nothing can keep you safe from the Irby Lamb in the urban setting. So, let's fire in here. Still low odds will kill it, but we get what we do. Panics the pilot. And yeah, we actually get a kill. So, that looked like just a straight engine crit, not even any ammunition explosions or anything like that. And now our 3 allied mechs remaining are only facing down a single Merlin 60-ton mech, which they should be more than capable of handling without too much trouble. Okay, landing one of them, oh, 2. Is that a mix? Volley. Yeah. TBMs 10s and 5s. I mean, we will try out Thunderbolts because apparently they're a House Merrick specialty. I've never really enjoyed them that much, but it's worthwhile to give it a try anyway. Here's the more functional Jägermech build, and we will be firing into that happily. So let's do stand right here. Do I need the precision strike? Yes, I do. You know what? Maybe let's come down, get a little closer. I think I'm having some range issues there. It's a little hard to tell. And fire away. It looks like one of those missed and hit a building. We're going to risk that a little bit here because we're firing into the same direction. Can I find it? Which one was hit? Okay, not really sure. We might not have, but I think we did. A little hard to tell. Okay. It'll be really disappointing missing another 99.1% shot again, but you know, these things happen. Can't open up with everything, so let's go with the ER large over the ER medium. Alright. 120 is back up, and that Jägermech is taking a pounding, which is what I like to see. Still our turn. And let's get... well, let's leave Ridgehound for right now, because I think he's probably most effective after a couple of the other ones have moved, getting a nice rear angle shot on something. Speaking of, open up the SR-120 cannons. That's a dead Merlin. Very nice. He's off the board. I might end up splitting this up into two, which of course if you're watching this by now you will have already figured that out. They have evasion. Doesn't look like it. But then why would that shot be so bad with the ER mediums? They must have evasion. It's just not showing me. Let's compare the accuracy. Yeah, they have evasion pips. Don't know why it's not telling me. If that's the case, we just need to wait. These are the last enemies on the board, so we'll be wrapping up real shortly. Well, maybe 2 turns or so. Unfortunately, we had to split our lance up to try and assist our allies. It's a good decision, but it makes defeat in detail a little bit more complicated at the moment. That's fine. That's fine. Come on. There's an Oststall periphery build for PA, means periphery. Let's go ahead and let the other guys move as well. Those heavy and medium cannons aren't terribly threatening, but they can do some good work given the opportunity. I mean, they scatter damage around, kind of like a cluster shot. If they're fired, I don't know why they're not shooting. You should be shooting. Here, let me give you a hint. In a game dedicated to gigantic stompy robots with way oversized guns, fire your guns. It will help. God. Okay. So, I do like their formation, but unfortunately for them, we're completely behind it. Let's see who's the easiest to take down. That looks pretty easy. That looks pretty easy, but not quite as easy. Oh, that's paper thin. Paper thin armor, indeed. Precision strike, let's kill that periphery Jägermech. And of course machine gun. But it's still enough. Very nice, it's 1 off the field. Sometimes, and this is the thing that I really enjoy about BTA 3062, namely that, while yes, the mech tonnage does matter, you're better off fielding a smaller, nominally weaker mech with better equipment than some gigantic, heavier assault with the complete trash that this class of theirs is fielding. Granted, the one Jägermech 6S is a fine design, but when accompanied by what it has to help it out, which is pretty much nothing, it's going to struggle, and really not through any fault of its own. There's only so much you can make up for. We are going to try to kill it now. Let's see, group minor laser on split fire. Wow, a lot of damage mitigation, that's what kept them alive, I guess. I do learn both improved binaries, lots of missiles going in, but holy cow, that damage resistance was quite incredible. 23 left in that mech's CT, and let's get our Awestruck over to support. I know we had obstructed shots we could have taken there, but I just wanted to move the most distance, because an obstructed shot through a building is not what we want. We're so far so close getting a payment bonus for not breaking anything. Well, not breaking anything we weren't supposed to, I suppose. And it's a panic out. Jägermech 6S is gone, leaving just the 2 periphery mechs, the Black Knight periphery and the Oststall periphery. I am tempted. I would field the Black Knight periphery mech if it was absolutely necessary for me to do so, but I don't think it is, despite the channel's namesake. And which one am I more afraid of? Black Knight has more guns, but this is the easier kill. Take the easy kill. There it is. Very nice. So our Centurion has just popped right behind them and gotten 2 kills in 2 rounds. Can't really do much better than that, so I'm happy, man. This is some bad accuracy off the Marauder. I'm thinking we just don't take that. Let's let him move. He's not going to be able to kill us short of a head cap at this point. That risk is so remote that I don't particularly find it convincing arguments. Come on. Alright. Fair number of lasers landing on our Orion can take that beating. That's okay. And let's get this mission completed. So we're going to have to sprint. I want rear angle shots on this guy as much as we can. And we'll start off with the Wolverine, turning off the ER medium, turning off the ER large for the ER medium and the 1120. Close range, but lots of crit seeking off of each one of those missiles. And that is if they're the right hit location, which it seems like most of them were not. That is a little unfortunate. Allied turn, let's see if they can give me some support with Thunderbolts. Come on, Cataphracts, or not. Guess that was the guillotine. The enemy side of Cataphract, what am I thinking? Let's get the Marauder. Nope, no rear angle shots. Reserve down to 4. Move the Orion around. Swing around here. That looks good. Turn off the Rack 5 because we can't afford that sort of bad accuracy. Alright. That's what I like to see. Alright, that should be the mission. Thank you guys for hanging around, and we'll see you again real soon.